Hello everyone, welcome back. I am TechDoff, and since you all seem to enjoy my last video where I did my desk pretty much, and you all seem to really like that video, I figured we'd start off here with another project. And this is more of a fun one because we're gonna kind of spice up the room a little bit. I already mounted some, as you can see right there, some magnetic pegboard to actually make this work, and as you have already read the title of the video, you know that this is going to be fun RGB Nanoleaves. So just like every other YouTuber out there has some RGB lighting behind them to distract you while we're talking, I'm going to join in on the parade. So here we go. And before we get into actually mounting them on the wall, there are a couple of footnotes I wanted to say. These are priced at $199 US, so about 200 bucks. If you are lucky, you can find them on sale, usually for about $20 off. So I would definitely jump on that if you can find that. And I also wanted to note that the original Nanoleaf triangles, the rhythm triangles, are actually no longer sold as of January 19th, 2022. So you are either going to have to go with the shapes as I did, the hexagons, or the new triangles, or the mini triangles, or the lines, or any other Nanoleaf product that's out there. So that's one thing you're going to want to be aware of. Another thing you want to know is that Nanoleaf themselves have actually polled their community over on their website and asked if customers would be interested in magnetic mounting as opposed to just using adhesive. And the majority of people said, heck yeah, I would love to do that. It makes things a lot easier, right? So at least over in Europe on their website, I'll show you right here, they actually do offer a official magnetic mounting system for about 20 or 30 bucks, but the only downside is that it is only available in Europe as of right now, and they have pretty much been out of stock since they were introduced. So if you go on websites like Reddit or even just check other channels on YouTube, people have already done similar mounts like this, either with pegboard like I'm about to do, or they'll just kind of make their own frame and just kind of stick them in a frame, or some other use like that. So I'm not really one to wait indefinitely since they're not really saying what they're going to do next. So this is kind of the DIY route I decided to take. And finally, a couple concerns I wanted to address. A lot of people will ask online, oh, these are really expensive for just lights. Why even buy them? They're really bad value. Well, if you're just using them as a light, then yeah. I mean, you can buy a light bulb for a couple dollars and get the same job done for a lot less. But there's more to these than just the, I guess I want to say, the value of them. There's value is really in the eyes of the beholder, right? So if you're going to spend, say, 200 bucks on these, or 180, 150, whatever you get them for, you're going to use them for a lot more than just lighting your room. I mean, they're kind of an art piece, really. You're going to mount them on your wall, as I am right behind me here. You're going to display them, you're going to show them off, and you're going to enjoy them, right? You can change them with your phone. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. Another concern I've seen online that a lot of people have been mentioning is that the hexagons specifically suffer from light bleed, so there'll be little shadows on the corner of the shapes. And while it's true that the light panel doesn't go directly all the way to the corner, I feel that, although if we're going back to that value argument, these are better value than, say, the triangles or the mini triangles, just because they have like a wider area per piece that they actually light up. So you still get 7 pieces, whether you get the triangles or the hexagons, but the hexagons will give you a larger lit area versus the triangles. So I guess there was some value partially in it for me, but the great thing about these is that the connectors are the same for all the shapes. So if in the future I decide I want triangles or mini triangles, you could pick those up and kind of mix and match and, merge them all together and make your own unique combination of shapes. So that's pretty cool too. All right, so enough talk. So let's get these magnets mounted to the actual Nanoleaf hexagons themselves, and then let's go stick them on the wall, and I can give you some final thoughts once this is all done. So here we go. So as you guys can probably see, things are a little bit different than I originally planned. If you kind of take a look over here behind me. And just to be completely honest with you guys here, I did want to use these metal hook sheets as kind of a 2-in-1 type of deal, so I could use them both as kind of like holders for my tools, screwdrivers, all that cool stuff, and kind of as a magnetic mount for the Nanoleaves themselves. So unfortunately, it wasn't until after purchasing the sheets that I realized that kind of the mounts aren't quite as portable as I realized I'd want. Being able to move them around, take them off the wall, hang them up, you know, movement, that kind of thing. So it did affect the, I guess you could say, kind of the portability aspect quite a bit. So in order to kind of compensate for this little shortfall that I ran into, I decided to just kind of do a cheap two-pronged approach. So first, I decided to just buy a cheap picture frame from a local Walmart. It was 3 feet by 4 feet, and to go with that, I decided to add a sheet of metal magnetic board from Home Depot. That is the matching size, so I was able to just fit that sheet right into the frame without any cutting or tools or anything like that, and still able to use the magnets that I purchased by using some double-sided 3M adhesive to stick the magnets right onto the Nanoleaves themselves, and then use the magnets and actually stick them right onto the frame that you can see behind me there. So I do still get the ease of installation that I wanted with the magnets, but this way I can pick up that frame and move it a lot easier, keeping that pattern the same way without having to take them off and refit them again as I would have originally had to, because those metal sheets are actually drilled into the wall as opposed to just hanging right off of a screw. So it makes it a lot easier in that respect. And to anyone watching this thinking about using magnets, this is definitely the way to go. So please heed my word on that. So with all that said, I still don't have any regrets with purchasing them. They do look very great. They integrate into HomeKit, which is what I use for my smart home type of devices. And right now, these are kind of currently the kings of smart lighting. If you haven't heard of them, you probably will, especially over the holiday season coming up. But there are other brands like Govee and others that are entering this market, but Nanoleaf kind of started the whole rainbow shape type smart lighting that you see on probably about half the YouTube channels out there. So, but what sold me on Nanoleaf versus some of those other admittedly cheaper different brands are things like firmware updates that Nanoleaf's very good at, adding new features like Matter they promised, so that will add more interoperability with other smart home platforms, as well as things like Thread, which makes smart home networking very, very fast. And I can honestly wholeheartedly recommend these. I did purchase them myself, as another disclaimer, but just for any setup like I kind of have here in the background, or just as kind of a conversation starter, I do recommend them. If you're thinking about them, go ahead and pull the trigger, because they are a lot of fun to just play with and just to look at. So please ask any questions below. Any other questions you may have about some of the issues I had with installing, or some of the things I learned as I was going. Like I said, started with one intention, ended with something a little bit different, but definitely worth it looking back, and worth kind of learning as I went. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Peace.